Okay, guys, in this lesson, I want to talk about being more playful with your sketches and try to avoid being too logical and being too restricted by the facts of the reference. Now, what I mean by facts of the reference is that a lot of us, mostly young artists, we tend to judge ourselves by how good we can copy what we're drawing. Like if we're drawing from a picture or if we're drawing from a model or in real life, we judge ourselves how well we could copy that and make it as photorealistic as the object we're drawing. Because why I think this is because you would have people who generally aren't into art, and the first thing they would judge you as an artist on is basically the facts. And the facts is how well can you copy that thing that we are both seeing, and does it look like that thing? And this is really a restrictive form of your creativity, because what's the point of being an artist if you're just gonna copy the thing that you see, right? Why not just take a photo, right? There's no real point in copying it. So what I want to incorporate in this class is showing you how you could use various techniques such as caricature and pushing the pose and stuff, and just generally using these rules along with your personal creativity to create something different, to create something that never was there before, because that's art, creating something that wasn't there before, right? And you're going to use inspiration from life to create something different. We're not going to just copy and pretend like, hey, I'm so good at copying this so mathematically down to the last value or last shade, right? So let me just jump right into it here with some examples, and I'm gonna use the references, right, these pictures here, and just add more character, add more design, add a little more flavor, right? I'm gonna use more caricature, push the pose, and even if I don't like what I did the first time, I'm just gonna build upon that, right? So here we go. Here we have a guy throwing a baseball, and I'm not gonna judge myself too hard on my first attempt at doing something as different as the picture, because I could always build upon that. I could learn from my sketch, and because it's gesture, we're not gonna spend a whole lot of time on the drawing. We don't get too attached to what we did, right? A lot of us, we spend so much time putting in detail right off the bat. We're not talking about just some of us, like, they draw. We tend to just draw a bunch of detail instantly, even on the head. We start drawing the head, and that we get so involved in detail just in the head, and we spend maybe like a half an hour or maybe an hour on the head alone, and you don't even know what the rest of the body or anything will look like. And then sometimes you might even like where you're going, and you spend so much time just on the head, right? So as you can see, I'm already pushing the pose a bit, right? But because I just started, this is my first drawing, I may not be as playful as I want to be just yet. I'm still warming up. Alright. So I've pushed it a little more than the image. His leg is stretched out a bit more. Alright. I'm not gonna behold myself to every fold of the clothing. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you how I would probably do a different version to this. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm actually gonna try and do this piece a little more caricature than the first version. You know, I'm gonna play some more. Be a little more cartoony with the reference. And because I understand the gesture, I could draw any kind of character in the pose. So what I'm gonna do is I noticed that this baseball player, he has a little muscle up here, so I'm gonna exaggerate that more. Alright. Outstretched arm. So clearly this is not how he looks in the picture. But as I was trying to get the point across is I'm just being playful. I'm not being restricted by the facts of the photo. And this is where you get to use your artistic license. And what I mean by artistic license is because you're the artist, you get to make the decisions of how your piece will come out using the principles you have learned. So I made the top of his body a bit more muscular, as though he goes to the gym a lot. He kind of has a body builder kind of physique. I'm not getting that feeling of he's pulling back, so I'm gonna try and get that feeling. I lost a bit of that feeling from the first gesture. And get back that feeling. So his head needs to come back a bit. And his shoulder needs to come up a bit more. And then you have his clothes kind of peeling back here. Right. So his nose is pretty huge because I'm doing a caricature. I don't know, I get a feeling that the gesture is still a bit off. And go back in. And fix it. Now if I was doing this traditionally, I would just redraw it because I would be working in pen, and if I didn't like the gesture, which to me is so important in getting that feeling, I would keep redrawing it and redrawing it until I was satisfied with the gesture. And you see, because I'm not caught up with detail, I haven't fallen in love with all the time I've spent on it. So it's easy for me to just see what I don't like with the gesture and just go back in and fix it. And it makes it so much easier because you didn't spend so much time working on a specific area. So now you could just go back in and fix things much easier than if you did spending so much time doing detail, right? think I get the gesture a little bit better. I think I need to get his torso to look as though it's bending forward, and his neck. Right. Bring down his feet a bit. So you see, I didn't get the gesture that I wanted first time around. And now I'm going in and making the adjustments I want. So if you actually go back to the beginning of this drawing, you would see that I didn't get the feeling of him winding up and throwing the ball, that I wanted. And if you skip forward, you can see I'm getting it a bit better now in this one. And as I said before, I want you guys to be playful. You see like how I caricatured his whole physique compared to the first one here. I caricatured his whole physique. I created this whole new character from the gesture, and it's not about copying from the picture, right? Let's do another one. And I'm actually gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna do a simple gesture first. Something quick. And that's the great thing about starting off your pieces with a gesture, is that it's easy to make adjustments. It's really easy to make adjustments, because it could be really frustrating to do a piece and you fall in love with it, and then when you look at it again, it's like, you know what, that arm not looking good, his torso isn't looking good, and then you simply accept it and you end up with something mediocre, something that you're not totally satisfied with, and you end up developing a habit that isn't good, a habit of accepting maybe a first pass, something that you could have done better. Right? I'm actually gonna move this gesture across a little bit, because I wanna caricature his pads and his guards, because I'm having fun. I'm not copying exactly what I see in the picture. I'm gonna push things at a different level, because I want to be entertaining. I want to create something that wasn't there before. I do not want to be a photographer, so why am I going to just copy the image? I'm not going to do that. Alright. And since his body is large at the top, I'm gonna make his legs a bit more tiny, so you have like a bit of contrast. Get extra skinny. Alright. So a lot of it has to do with caricature as well, and because you can see I'm exaggerating some parts of his body, you know. And you know what? I'm gonna pull this leg out and push it back some more so I get a better silhouette. And well, if I was copying the image, I wouldn't be able to do this. I wouldn't be able to make a more appealing image if I decided that, hey, I just want to copy this image and not be creative at all. Nah, that doesn't look good. Everyone makes mistakes, you know. It's all about decision making. Sometimes you make decisions and they don't turn out the way you thought, and you have to do them again. And I think that leg is a bit too long. So I'm just having fun, right? I'm not judging myself too hard. You know, I could actually do another version of this and even make maybe the part smaller, make his legs bigger. I don't know. Let's do something else. It's a nice image here. Now these guys, they have some interesting faces. So I might actually, what I would do is put down the gesture first, because it's the most important thing to capture that pose. Doing some ballroom dancing. Right. So, it's all that way. Some nice angles in the body. And then we have his partner. Again, some foreshortening here, so we're going to use the overlap to make it easier for us. Now, when I say don't be restricted by the facts, that's not an excuse to do a bad drawing and then say, oh, I wasn't restricting myself to the facts. No, that's not what I mean. I mean to have fun and to be entertaining while creating appealing drawings. Alright, not bad drawings, but appealing drawings based on all the things that you learn that make appealing drawings. Alright, his perspective has to be on point, you know. Your gesture, your angles to create movement. Now, what I could do with this piece is that I will actually reduce the opacity, and what I will do is, because now that I have the gesture down, what I could do is I could go in now and fill in the character with any character I want. So, but I'm still going to use the reference, but I'm not going to copy the reference exactly. I'm going to have some fun. I'm going to push his character and characteristics beyond what's in the photo. I'm gonna push his mouth. Alright. Now this is even still a bit tame. You could go crazy wild with your caricature and your gesture. Make his clothes a bit more baggy, full of air. You know, make his clothes a bit more baggy, his shoes a bit more pointy. Totally not being restricted by the reference image and what it gives to me. And again, like, I could do this piece, like, if I don't like how he looks, I could simply just do it again, you know? Because this is still really rough. You know, simplicity is the key. You know, the thing about keeping things simple and not worrying about too much detail is that, I don't know, for some reason, simplicity really stands the test of time. Because I think maybe because it's what's the most important thing. Like, everything else added on to what needs to be there. Just over time, we just see that, hey, that didn't even really need to be there. You know, all that detail didn't really need to be there. You know, I can't remember where I heard that someone, I'm gonna butcher this quote, but someone said it took me so long to be able to draw like a child again. And I think a person was talking about how it's like drawing so simple. Like, you know, everyone thinks, well, I think when you're young, and you think what makes a good artist is how well they can copy, how well they can copy something and make it look photorealistic, you know? Because those who tend to not be involved in the, you know, the cartooning kind of arts, you know, they tend to not understand why you would watch a reference image like this and then come up with these characters that look nothing like the people. It's like, if I were, say, to show this to someone with the picture next to it, they would probably be like, oh, that doesn't look like the guy. And that's not the point. Like, that's not the point. I wasn't here to copy the picture. I was here just using it as a reference to create something different, maybe to create my own characters, maybe to put a spin on maybe the reference picture itself. Maybe that is the guy, and maybe I just wanted to caricature him so much and to make it so much more entertaining than the picture itself. So I think I'm going to end it right there, and let's move on now to your assignment. And I am going to leave a whole bunch of images, reference images, for you guys to practice your gesture, to practice your caricature, and to practice having fun, and to add flavor, add your personal flavor to your gestures. Just maybe draw a big nose, draw big hair, draw, just use inspiration from the reference, but don't try to copy it. Add a gesture, add your personal level of exaggeration to your gestures, to the characters that you're referencing, right? So let's move on to the assignment now.